Yo dude, what are you doing? Oh, yeah, I'm just trying this new thing. Every time I get a triggering notification or message from work, I just breathe it out. Huh, how's that going for you? I mean, it's the first day, but seems like it's working. Oh. What?
Fucking shit! Fuck me in the ass! Monkey! Lick it! Fuck that!
Yeah, I'm gonna be tied up the rest of the day. Don't wait up. Alrighty. Yo, what is up? Welcome back to another week of How to Health. My name is Kevin. I run liftandbalance.com, where we take aim at all things health and do it in an odd, weird, interesting, and highly sarcastic manner. Today, we are covering the fastest way to freak down. That is to calm yourself amid a mini or major freak out. You get it? Freak down. You know what? Now that I think about it, it actually sounds like a pretty good name for a dance move. Anyway, we are going to cover what is happening on the inside at the biochemical level, the fastest way to channel your inner zen during an episode, and some tips and tricks to help prevent them from popping up so frequently. Because, I get it, sometimes you just gotta cry it out. And that's okay. Production team does it all the time. No, don't get upset. No, it was a compliment. It was a compliment. All we're gonna do here today is help you understand the inner wiring. Because once you understand the wiring, you can hack the wiring. Disclaimer, don't go playing around with electricity, please. It was a metaphor. So in the next 13 minutes and 86 seconds, we're gonna talk about how you can channel one of the most basic human functions to calm yourself down during a moment or moments of unrest. And that basic function is breath. And finally, we will finish off with a few simple breathing techniques that you can leverage to bring yourself back to monk level zen. You ready? Good. First, what exactly happens when we become stressed out? Psychological and emotional stress. For the purposes of this video, we're gonna assume that you're not in any physical danger. Thus, the stress that you're dealing with is psychologically driven or internally derived, which is the most common type of stress in this modern age. The thing is, this 5-pound mushy membrane that sits inside our cranial cabinets is quite powerful. As you probably experienced, a mere thought alone has the power to traverse downstream through the figurative layers of our brain and change our physiological and biochemical state in a matter of moments. When we build a scenario or let a series of thoughts that are associated with a negative context propagate throughout our head, we trigger a downstream stress response that essentially has our body reacting the same way it would for a physical threat. Turning on the emotional center of the brain, the limbic system, as well as the most primal part of our brain, the brain stem. And like I said before, altering our biochemical and physiological state in a matter of seconds. What are some things that happen? Well, first off, stress hormones such as cortisol are upregulated in their secretion. But that's not all. This also comes with a constriction of blood vessels, increasing blood pressure, increasing our heart rate, breathing, and driving a sharp rise in immune system activity. All because of that passive-aggressive email you got from Todd in accounting. This psychologically driven stress response places our body in a fight or flight sympathetic nervous system state, basically putting the body on high alert for no good reason. Now, I want to be clear, the stress response has been evolutionary life-saving. Without it, we probably wouldn't have made it to this prosperous time we all are lucky enough to live in. The issue is, in this modern day, 99% of the time, this response doesn't properly justify the stimuli. And too many people sit in this state of being constantly stressed out, day in and day out. And the worst part is they just accept it as their default natural state. This is called chronic stress. And I know you know from all of our other breakdowns on the topic, it is bad for biological business, being shown to accelerate all things nefarious happening on the inside at the cellular and metabolic level, tiring and weakening the immune system, altering genetic expression, culminating with the acceleration of chronic disease. Yeah, yikes. That is why building a strategy to identify your stress triggers and get back to a normal, relaxed state is key for anyone who's looking to live long and finish strong. But before we get to the prevention, let's talk about the fastest way to escape a stressful episode. The fastest stress hack. If you're in the midst of a psychologically or emotionally driven stressful event, here's what you do. Breathe intentionally and methodically. Here's why. Deep, intentional belly breaths is the fastest way to alter your physiological state. You essentially disrupt the stress response by taking a secret passageway to the primal part of our brain, the brainstem. The irony here is the cognitive, most recently evolved part of our brain, the neocortex, otherwise known as layer 3, you know, that area where the psychological stress originated, not only influences those other layers of the brain, layer 2 and layer 1, but it can also be influenced by them. Deep, intentional belly breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth, sends the signal from the diaphragm, or that umbrella-like muscle that regulates inhales and exhales, right to the brainstem. And this signal basically said the body is cool, calm, and relaxed in a parasympathetic rest or digest nervous system state. Why? Because breathing is nice, slow, and controlled. Exactly the opposite of what you would do when you're stressed out. This message traverses the nervous system from the periphery to the central hub of the brainstem. From there, it gets sent upstream to the limbic system, or layer 2, that emotional center of the brain, where stress signals begin to be downregulated. And it even makes its way up to the neocortex, or layer 3, returning the psychological roller coaster back to the station. All this from breath. So, I know what you're wondering now. How exactly do I execute this strategy next time I'm losing it? Good question. I gotta say, you're a great setup person. De-stress in minutes. All right, so now that we know what's going on and how breath works, how do we do it? Although there are a ton of different breathing techniques that you can leverage to get this job done, we're gonna keep it simple. When you realize that you're having an episode, find a seat, lay on the ground, or better yet, go out in some fresh air, and I want you to perform something called box breathing. And it's called this because the inhales and exhales are for the same duration. You know, like the sides of a box. Told you we were gonna be doing dance moves here. For example, 5 seconds in through the nose, 5 seconds hold, 5 seconds out through the mouth, and 5 seconds hold. This simple technique will essentially send a signal to the brain saying, yo brain, I don't know what's going on up over there, but we can't be stressed out. We are cool, calm, relaxed, breathing slow. We're straight chilling. The body talks in a very informal way. Doing this will not only bring you back from the brink of a stressful situation, but also act as a great preventative strategy to add to your stress management routine. You do have a stress management routine, right? We'll talk about that in a minute. It will strengthen your diaphragm, it will improve your oxygen efficiency and your overall health, which we break down in depth in this video right here. The important thing to remember here is to adjust to your respiratory level. 5 seconds may be too long, especially if you're totally freaking out. So channel it down to 2 or 3 seconds. The key here is that you have a routine to turn to. Another technique that I like is the double inhale exhale. This consists of taking a double inhale through your nose like this, and exhale through your mouth. This right here has been shown to activate some of the same areas of the brain as yawning does. And we know we ain't yawning when we are totally stressed out. So this is another simple way or technique to use to activate that rest and digest parasympathetic nervous system state. As I said before, there are a ton of different techniques that would take videos and videos and videos to go through. I'm sure some YouTube channels have it. So I encourage you to look them up and use the Google machine. Some of my personal favorites are Brian McKenzie from Power Speed Endurance, Wim Hof, the legendary Iceman, and a good book to check out is Breath by James Nestor. With all that, let's end with a nice little word on prevention. As we touch on in some extent in pretty much every other video on this channel, prevention, when possible, is always the optimal strategy. And it is always easier than reversal. And that certainly applies when we're talking about dealing with stressful circumstances. The art of prevention. Here are some good preventative measures that have been shown to help. First off, good nourishing food. I did a full video on how good food influences and regulates our biochemical state, impacting mood, psychological health, and physiological function. A simple rule of thumb to follow is eat more real and less processed. Let's keep it simple. Next, consistent sleep quality. Don't sleep on sleep. Lack of it will put your body in a more stress-prone state the next day. So you might as well get it. And if you're looking for a place to start, we have a whole fully equipped how to sleep playlist on this channel. Then we have consistent exercise, or what I like to call the best mood boosting prescription there is. It activates the release of feel-good neurochemicals as well as natural opioids and cannabinoids that make it really difficult to be in a chronically stressed out state. So do yourself a favor and get your sweat on. Then we have meditation or mindfulness. This works by making you a better observer of your thoughts, building the skill of being able to stop that negative thought or emotion in its tracks before it triggers a downstream stress response. And all of this gets wrapped together with routine. When you take all of the aforementioned interventions and build a comprehensive daily routine that you can consistently execute against. And when you do this, you've essentially found the best form of stress therapy on the market. And I have several videos breaking down all of the aforementioned in depth, in detail, which I will link all down below. At the end of the day, we need to accept the fact that feeling good, energized, refreshed, and restored each and every day doesn't just happen. But that doesn't mean it can't or it shouldn't. You just have to put yourself in the position to make it happen. And a comprehensive stress management plan is one of the most important factors in getting you there. As always, let me know what comments, questions, any random thoughts you have down below. And remember, next time you're stressed out, take a breath and do your freak down dance. Production team's been dancing the whole time in the back. Get your freak down. Get your freak down. No, it's not how it goes. You guys, cut. Cut it.